Joe Blasco here with our special guest, Mr. Jeffrey Fitzer. Jeffrey.
Hi, pleasure.
Thank you for coming in
No
today.
problem, no problem.
I know you have a busy schedule, and we tried to grab you to get in here.
Thanks.
Thanks. Jeffrey, you've got such a resume. I mean, it goes on and it goes on.
Right.
So many stars.
Thanks.
When did you begin in makeup? How old were you?
4. Yeah.
Amazing.
No, I was.
He beat me by 3 years.
Exactly. I think I started probably when I was around 16. I started working actually in cosmetics when I was 16. I worked for a company called Francis Denny, which was from Philadelphia, like the oldest cosmetic company. Right. I mean, the people that used to come to the counter, they would come in like wheelchairs, and I would sit there and I would watch. But I really got interested in skincare because the one particular cream that was there was this cream that was called Source of Beauty, and I ended up actually working on that and sort of making it into the year, I guess that would be 1970, because I had been in the market for almost 100 years. Yes, I think the company had, but I got interested in that, and I started, paying attention to skincare and looking at women's skin, realizing what they needed, and then I advanced on to cosmetics.
But you were a hairdresser first.
I was actually a hairdresser. I graduated from high school as a hairdresser because in those days you could take a vocational.
Right.
And so I was a hairdresser, and I liked doing hair, but being 6'10", and
6'10", ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, 6'10". It was.
They actually have a few telephone books under my pillows here, so I look like I'm sitting in a hole.
Yeah, exactly. Oh well, yeah. I realize. But I tell you, I think I'm all legs, so we're pretty well evened out here. But and I started doing hair, and then still had a lot of clients doing hair, even in Hollywood and in New York, and on the models and so forth in New York and everything. But I really enjoyed makeup.
Right.
That was really something that I really enjoyed, and I made the decision then to do makeup.
But how did you cross from hair into makeup?
I think it's because I always wanted to do the complete package. I'm sort of like it's that whole control thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like if the person would come into me, the models and so forth would come to me, and I would do the makeup, and then I would see the hair. It would be a disaster, and I'd be like, oh gosh, now I got to do the hair. So I would do the hair.
You're a self-studied makeup artist. Right?
Self-study, yeah.
And I know what that's all about because that's how I came into the industry as well.
Yeah.
As far as fashion makeup is concerned, now you've been in New York. You've done a lot of fashion work. You've worked in Hollywood quite a bit. You've done commercials, film, television, you name it. How do you feel that the makeup artists in general in film and television rank when it comes to fashion makeup compared to the makeup artists in New York who work strictly in the fashion industry?
I think it's the training. When you're talking about like the artists in California versus the ones in New York. In California, I think the makeup artists were more regimented as far as TV. They did a lot of TV. They did a lot of films. Yeah. So their makeup techniques were a lot different than what we used in New York as for models. We were a little bit more adventurous.
Yes.
We used a little bit more color, which you really couldn't get away with on film and on TV because the screen is so big and yet the pictures and so forth when you're shooting on film versus a model.
Right.
You can be a little more inventive.
Right, so you're saying that the medium itself restricted the makeup artists.
I think so out here.
From going over the top as you and I were able to do when we worked in fashion.
Absolutely, because you used, I think there were just basic colors.
Right.
And still to this day, it's the same thing. Right. I mean, you really can't, some of the shows nowadays, with the shows with the models, America's Next Top Model, things like that, they are more inventive with makeup and hair and so forth, but that's a small select group. Right. Still, I think it's still basic on the TV shows and films. Less is best.
Right. What do you prefer? Do you prefer working in still photography, and in what area of still photography? Print work.
I like print work, and I like commercials. I like I like it all. The thing with print work, and anybody knows that's a print work makeup artist or hairdresser, is it's all stop and go. It's so stop and go. I mean, they're in preparation for, maybe 2.5 hours. They come out, they put on a clothes and so forth. They shoot and so forth. You're constantly having to run in powder, fix the hair. The hair is here. You got to move the hair back here. With commercials, it's a little bit more freer, because they want the movement of the body. You're actually seeing the person move. You're seeing it move from side to side. With print, it's one direct look. You know what I mean? It's that capturing that one moment.
Exactly.
And with commercials and film, you might, when you're doing a film, as you sit there and there could be a 10-minute dialogue. Well, the director doesn't want you to jump in there and fix the hair that's like right here. It might work with that character, but on print, it doesn't work. A piece of hair here, it's a piece of paper. People are looking at it, they're seeing it. That's where the hair is staying.
Tell me about your work with Max Factor, because I worked for Factor as well. When did you work for Factor?
They had worked we had done all the ads, the cosmetic ads in New York. And the first person I did was, she was married to John DeLorean. Her name was Christine. She was married to DeLorean, and Max Factor I was with an agency in New York at the time, and I ended up doing their cosmetic campaign. It was for eyes called Smoke Something Eyes or whatever. And
this was in the 70s.
Yes, in the 70s. Right. Yeah. I was with Way Bandy.
I was in the 60s.
Well, I was with. Did you know Way Bandy?
No, I did not.
I was with Way Bandy and Maury Hobbs.
I was with Hal King.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Bob Salvatore.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
Donna
Bob
Whalen.
Salvatore. Yeah.
Was Donna Whalen still around when you were at Factor?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God, Bob Salvatore. I haven't heard that name in years.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
So I can recall.
Wow.
We wrote letters to the Max Factor company.
Right.
And I was right out of high school.
Right.
And they sent me a letter back saying, we want to interview you.
Right.
And it was like, oh my God.
Right.
Right. I'm from Pittsburgh. You're from Philadelphia. And it's like I said when we were talking, there's something in the water.
Yeah.
In Pennsylvania.
Yeah, really.
How many makeup artists have come? I've got umpteen makeup students from Pennsylvania.
Really?
You got Tom Savini from Pennsylvania.
Because there's nothing to do in Pennsylvania.
Right,
That's why. So you just
Anyway,
you make everybody up.
Back to Factor. I flew to Factor, and I had, and this is an interesting story, I had a really bad complexion, terrible. I have remnants of it still. And thanks to my new foundation, I'm able to cover a little bit more of it.
Right. Well, you look great.
I made myself up, went to New York, and I covered it with a sealer. Right, and put the makeup on, and I thought to myself, "Oh God, I'm going to the Max Factor company. They're going to see that I'm wearing makeup, and they're going to go, oh, who's this kid with all this makeup on?"
Right.
Nothing.
Yeah.
They didn't. They said nothing. They hired me.
Sure.
And they flew me to Los Angeles, and that's where I got my training in Los Angeles.
Over here.
In here.
Yeah,
in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And we are now here in the Hollywood studio.
Right.
We have 2 studios for MUAT.
Right.
One is Orlando, one is Hollywood here. So you worked in New York with Max Factor.
Yeah. Well, on my thing it says Max Factor. I did all their cosmetic ads.
I see.
That's when I had was worked there. I had an agent in New York City.
Right.
They would hire you. In other words, they would see like I did Chanel, I did Revlon, I did.
They're all here.
Charlie. I launched the Charlie campaign with. We used the girl's name. She actually became Charlie's Angels. She was on Charlie's Angels, and I can't remember her name right now. But she. I did her for that, and then I did, major cosmetic campaigns is what it was.
You're a who's who here as far as you are. You look,
that's because I'm old.
Cover Girl, no way. Cover Girl, Elme, Maybelline, Max Factor, Revlon, Chanel. It just goes on and on. And then the photographers that you've worked with,
right?
Matthew Ralston, Herb Ritz. Okay, these are top names in the industry. You were. How did you get into? How did you begin working with Herb Ritz?
Through an agent. I was with an agency in Los Angeles that they send your books out.
Yeah.
And by the luck of the draw, I actually had a picture of an actress that I had made look like Marlene Dietrich. And I had done a lace front wig on her. I plastered that down. I had totally transformed her, but I actually had the before picture of her. And so Herb's office, a girl by the name of Linda that worked for Herb at the time, she was looking through the book. She showed it to Herb. Herb saw it. He called me in and said to me, I'd love for you to work. He said, you know, this is great. This is what we're doing a campaign. He said, and it you know, it involves sort of a very exotic look, and you know, would you be interested? And I said, yeah, that'd be great. So you know, it was interesting. I mean, you know, I think a lot of my work and my books and so forth, I really do take a big chance, and I always did take a chance. I always loved the era of the 30s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Film noir was a really big thing for me. So I always had a little bit of that in me, that little bit of that, you know, that edge, and I'd always try to put that in my book. But then I can do the real natural, the real, you know, easy makeup and so forth and so on. But you know, you got to try to mix it up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
there's got to be a challenge there.
Yeah.
You mentioned the name Way Bandy. Now, I never had the good fortune to work or to know him. Did you work with him? Because
With Scavullo.
I'll tell you, Vincent Kehoe, my good friend and colleague who just recently passed away, who wrote so many books on the art of makeup, and we just recently worked together on the last book, the Professional Makeup Artist. When I would ask him, Vincent Kehoe, I would ask him to give me names of artists in New York that he respected in the world of beauty makeup. The name Way Bandy was the first one that would come up.
Oh, absolutely. He was a professional and very, very, very nice person.
Tell me about your association with him.
Well, I had worked with, it was for Scavullo. It was a shoot that they were doing. That's the first time I had actually met Elizabeth Taylor. It was a shoot for the What Becomes a Legend. And I was young then, and I was a friend of mine, and I don't know whether you know this guy or not, but he was with Elizabeth Arden, Pablo Manzoni.
No, I don't.
Do you remember him? Well, he actually sort of took me under his wing. And
in New York?
In New York. He took me under his wing and he said to me, I want to introduce you to somebody and I want to introduce you to the right people. So I met Way Bandy through Pablo, and then when I came on
another
with...
great name.
Yeah. And I met him through that. And I went on, and then Way hired me to come in there and sort of be, you know, to help him, you know, on that. And I went in there, and I remember I met Maury Hobbs, who was an amazing hairdresser. And it was a thrill. Scavullo was an amazing photographer, but, you know, actually really, it was all, like back in the 70s then, that was Studio 54, and that's exactly when I landed. And everything was so decadent.
Well, what a way to land.
Oh, my God, it was so decadent. I mean, you know, it was just
I'm
wild.
lucky to have you here.
Yeah, I'm lucky to be here. And, yeah, really. And I am here, aren't I? Okay. And they, you know, and so I worked with them, and then, you know, he would hire me then to go along, and I do other shoots and so forth and so on. And then kind of like, you know, I went out, and I learned a lot from him, actually, with some of the tricks.
Give us a few tricks that you learned from Way Bandy.
A lot of the eyebrows. That was a real big thing for him, was to make the eyebrow, you know, a real defining factor in the makeup. And he always started applying makeup. He would always do the eyebrow first. And Kevin Aucoin, same thing. I
have
he
Kevin
was a big
Aucoin's his makeup kit.
Sweet.
We bought it at an auction.
Oh, what a great guy! What a great artist.
Yeah, he was terrific.
Yeah. He was great. I had done a show, an award show, and he was there. I believe I can't remember who he was doing, but he was there. And what a nice guy! What a really nice guy, and a great artist. Used to put everything on the floor. And used to sit on the floor and had the people sit on the floor. It was a very, very, very odd thing. I mean, you used to see these people that are like 53 years old having to get on the floor, you know, and try to make them up. Well, that's what he did, and he'd have all the things going on, you know. And
I don't think I could have gotten away with that with.
Yeah, really. If I got on the floor now, I couldn't get up. That would
Carol
be my
Burnett.
problem. Yeah, exactly.
Carol, have a seat. Well, actually, with Carol, she probably would have sat.
Oh my God!
She was very
easygoing. She's great. Absolutely great. Still looks good.
Oh, she looks fantastic.
Are you still doing it?
No, I'm not.
No. But yeah, so I worked with Way, and then Way brought me on, and I did a couple other things, and I sort of was working also as a makeup artist next to him, and then I got another agency in New York, an agent in New York, and it's all about, you know, your agents. That's really what it's about. So you get an agent.
So Pablo, you mentioned Pablo. I remember when I first came to Los Angeles, and I worked I couldn't get a job anywhere. No. You know, and I saw the Ida Gray salon.
Oh,
remember Ida Gray?
Yes.
And I went to work for Ida Gray for 2 weeks.
Really?
2 weeks.
I love that.
That was it. and it was in the Beverly Wilshire Hotel. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Off on the right
Well,
side.
I don't remember that, but I remember it was up on.
And here I was, I was a kid.
Right.
I was like, I don't know, it must have been 18,
Right.
if even that.
Right.
And I went in, and I had my little makeup case with me.
Right.
And she says, do a makeup for me. Right.
Yeah.
So she sat one of the makeup artists down, and I was scared to death. Right.
Right.
And I did all this highlighting and shading, and they're all standing around, they're all looking at each other,
Right.
And she says, you see, the television makeup artists, highlighting and shading. They know highlighting and shading, but wait till he gets to the eye makeup. Watch him fall.
Oh, really?
And I did. She hexed me, right? I got to the eye makeup, and I was so nervous. I was shaking all over the place. And she says, see, he got nervous. See, he respects me. She says, he's afraid
My Lord,
of me.
how
He's
funny.
afraid of me, right? So she says, I'm going to make him into my Pablo. He's going to be my Pablo.
There you go.
Right? So I lasted 2 weeks there because I honestly wanted to go into TV, and I thought,
sure,
I'll learn something here. And what I learned is that at that point in my life, I wasn't ready for the sales arena of makeup.
That's the big thing.
And that was the thing. And I was too young to understand the opportunity that was being made available to me.
Sure, absolutely.
And so I decided to take on a side job while I pursued an apprenticeship at one of the studios. But anyway, back to New York. With Pablo, do you have experiences with Pablo?
Not too many, no, because I had gone right then and actually really went out on my own. I was with myself, and then I was in New York for I think it was almost, 3 or 4 years. I was in New York and back and forth.
You've done incredible things. You have a tremendously incredible name.
Oh, thanks.
In beauty, makeup, and fashion, photography, and commercials. You have won an award. You won an award from the Makeup and Hairstylists Guild. It was the Makeup and Hairstylists Guild
Award.
This was for excellence in makeup for
commercials. For television
tell
commercials.
Us about that.
It was an award that you received that voted on by your peers that feel that you did the most outstanding job that year, similar to kind of like the Academy Award for commercials or whatever. I mean, it was an award show, and I was delighted. I was nominated, and I was absolutely delighted. It was a really interesting commercial that I had done for Chevrolet. It was we actually shot it in Vancouver. And it was very interesting. The director I worked with, he actually won a Clio for the same commercial, I believe. And it had to do with fantasy, fantasy time periods, just really bizarre things coming in and out of this car. It actually really, to tell you the truth, made no sense. When you looked at this commercial with all that was going on.
Do you have a reel?
Oh, I have a reel, yeah.
Can we get this commercial from you so we can?
I don't know where it is, but it might be. I might have it somewhere. That's probably the worst part of my whole entire life is that I really don't keep it on, and I'm constantly told about this from agents and everybody else that, in fact, they called to get a hard copy of my resume, and I'm thinking, boy, I wonder where that is. And
I've been like a pack rat.
Oh.
You walk through the studio the school is downstairs. MUA-TV is upstairs. The school is downstairs. You walk through the halls down there. I have pictures that I saved when I was 7 years old.
Oh my God!
Doing makeup.
Oh my God! I save shoes because of my shoe size. That's about it. But I don't save anything. I mean, I always live for the moment. I know. I live for the moment, though. That's always been my life. I've always done that. I've always, it was so hard for me to go. And when I did all the magazines, and I did Vogue and Cosmopolitan and all the big magazines, and had actually. I would get in trouble all the time for not knowing where the tears are or where the things are or what month it was that it came out and everything else. But I always had like little Polaroids. I carried little Polaroids around, stuff like that. But and every now and then I'll run into a box somewhere in my house where I'll say like, oh my God, I remember I did that. It was really crazy because today, actually, after this, I'm actually going to go meet with one of a fashion photographer that I worked with in Los Angeles and had a relationship with maybe 20 years ago.
Wow.
So that's really kind of interesting that you kind of reconnect after all those years and see some of the people and so forth. So it's been great.
You know what? You mentioned Elizabeth Taylor. Tell us about her.
Well, it was her leather coat and motorcycle days. Do you remember when she did that? And I believe it was with.
I remember Marlene Dietrich's motorcycle days.
Yeah, this was. I don't remember. Well, she was going to make an appearance on a show, and I had an agency, and they contacted me, and it was she wanted a kind of a new look, a more of an updated, sort of a hip look, to look like something a little bit different. And so I went there and made her up, and actually she was pretty much camera ready when I got there. I mean, she had her base and her Elizabeth Taylor eyebrows, and everything was there, but she had remembered me from before when I had worked with Wade Bandy. One of the nicest people you'd ever want to meet. Very, 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 very sweet. And I ended up adding some of the colors that were in for that particular season. Sort of the back then it was like more of auburn shades and stuff. Just the things a little bit different. She had a leather coat on, leather pants. She looked really hip. It was a little different for Elizabeth Taylor.
You have to find a picture of that.
Yeah, I got to find that somewhere. I don't know where those are.
Okay, we're going to stop just for 1 second.
Sure.
And we're going to be right back with Jeffrey in just 1 minute. Until then, take a look at this.
Do you have the passion of an artist? Does the idea of working on a living canvas thrill you? For over 30 years, Joe Blasco has pioneered the ultimate training for film and television makeup artistry. Students are taught to become professional makeup artists by industry professionals at our state-of-the-art facilities in Hollywood and Orlando. Join our award-winning graduates and realize your dream of becoming a professional makeup artist today. Visit us at joeblasco.com or call 323-467-4949 to schedule a tour of our campus.
Welcome back. This is Joe Blasco here with Jeffrey Fitzer, and we have a great show. And you are just the best. You are the best.
Thank you.
You know what? What I love about this is that so many of the young people in the audience, when we mention names like Wade Bandy or Pablo, you see, they don't know who we're talking about.
Sure.
So let's. This is a history lesson for these people. Now, if they go online and they look up Pablo, the makeup artist from Revlon, will they find a bio of his? I'm certain that there must be something.
I would imagine. Sure.
And,
I would
imagine. And Wade Bandy.
Wade. I mean, he had all the books and he had everything in there. He was actually one of the first artists to come out with a book, about models and beauty and so forth. And the thing about Wade's book, I thought, which was really good too, was that it really taught you something.
Yes.
It really taught you. He actually showed you how.
Right, exactly.
To apply it and so forth. And I think it was just something that was very different.
With a lot of different products. This is one thing that I think somewhat stymied me a bit, and a lot of Hollywood makeup artists as well. And that is that when this is what you mentioned before, when you're working in specifics like television, motion pictures, you like, for instance, all we used was Max Factor makeup back then. And we were limited strictly to that line, the CTV series, the 665 series, the 725 series, all of these colors that were specific to Eastman color or Technicolor or color television. And we didn't really do all of the fashion and the wonderful stuff that you guys did in New York.
Yeah.
So I'd look at this stuff and I'd go, and I couldn't understand it. I'd go, well, these guys, I mean, they're doing this. How do they get away with all of this flamboyance and color and and it wasn't until much later in my career that I really began to fully appreciate the art as it was being executed by makeup artists who did fashion. You see? And then I tried to bring that into my television work. You see, when I was working with Bette Midler and Carol Burnett and a few of the others. And I found that by bringing that fashion element into what would have been ordinarily a very bland Hollywood type makeup.
Absolutely.
They would look at themselves in the mirror and go, holy, whoa. This is different.
Because they don't think they can get away with it.
This is different. So it's important that makeup artists study fashion.
Absolutely.
Because this is where, in my opinion, correct me if you think I'm wrong, this is where I think the art really advances.
Sure.
You know, if you look at magazines and you see how the artists who do these makeups, these wonderful makeups, are constantly pushing the envelope in every direction.
Oh,
whether
absolutely.
it be the style and shape of the brow, or whether it be the color of the eye color, or whatever.
Oh, sure.
Lashes.
Oh, absolutely.
And I feel that and Hollywood makeup artists, rather than looking at this and saying, well, we can't use that. That's just for
Exactly.
take a bit of it. Even though we have to tone it down,
Sure.
to make it, to adapt it for film and for television, to bring that element, that creative element into our work in Hollywood. I think that's what is going to help us in Hollywood to advance.
Oh, I think Hollywood's advanced a lot.
Well,
you know, from when I came
Exactly.
here.
Well, here you are. See, from New York, working and getting awards.
Oh yeah,
you know, here in
I mean,
Hollywood.
and I think a lot more people are doing that. Yeah, I think a lot more people are doing that too. I mean, I think it's a whole, it's a whole nother. It's a whole other area that has really been explored, and I think it's working out really well, especially with the shows now. You know, all the shows out there. I can't, don't want to plug any of the shows, but the girls are, they look very hip on
Absolutely.
screen, and they're hiring. I think also too is, with that though comes, I think, the reason why some of the makeup and hair people and so forth that are older are not working is because of the fact that they're bringing in younger people to make up younger people. Because they feel that they understand them better. But I don't really think that's the case. I mean, at my age, I still know exactly what a girl 14-year-old is supposed to look like on screen and in film and
because you're keeping up with the art.
Yeah, and I think a lot of hair and makeup people do keep up with the art. I'm sure keep up with the art, and everybody does, but they just don't think they do. They don't think they think because they are 46 years old and maybe they don't look like somebody that's 22 years old, but they don't have the ability.
And that's unfortunate.
That is really unfortunate. And that part I don't. That's the part that really I think is really sad in this industry. Yes, new people have to come along. There has to be fresh blood, and I understand all that. But a lot of times when you get on the sets. I was on a set recently, and there was a hair person on there that was much younger than myself, and they got into a real bind with something that needed to be done with the hair, and they had to call in someone that was my age, a veteran, that could come in there and fix that in 5 minutes because they got into trouble because they really didn't understand that they could make what they could make out of a piece of burnt rope to make it match the hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you see what I mean? So there's those things that you really, I mean, you're good directors and you're good producers and so forth. They realize a valuable makeup person and a valuable hair person.
Do you think that that the influence may be more because the talent themselves may be younger?
I think so, and I don't think that they, I think
and
so too.
inexperienced, and requesting, their friends or their cousin to come in and do their makeup.
Absolutely, and you're getting a lot of that, and you're really, I think you do get a lot of that, and I think you get a lot of, I think there is some, there's some unprofessional.
And that's
things.
why I feel that the makeup schools are so important.
Oh, absolutely.
Because here you're able to bring these young people in who have great promise and talent, and you're able to give them 10 or 15 years of experience through a really well-organized, systematic training program.
Oh, absolutely. And not anybody, people think because they can do makeup, period, like on their friends or whatever, they really don't know when they get on that camera. You have to, when you're making someone up, you actually have to be the eye of the camera.
Absolutely.
You have to be able to, and you have to have a photographic memory. You have to be able to know continuity. You have to be able to see everybody else's mistakes as well as yours.
That's right.
So you have a huge job out there as a makeup artist. I mean, on that set in that 1 hour, in that one whatever it is, you have to remember everything, and it's a lot.
Yes.
And schools and trainings prepare you for that.
Yes.
You can get on the set and you can really end up ruining your career by making a bad mistake by not being prepared.
When you're working, you can't be learning at the same time.
No.
You're learning.
Right,
You're
I
always
know what you
learning.
mean.
But you shouldn't be experimenting.
Right.
You should know what it is that you're looking for when you get on the set that
Absolutely.
day. And do it.
And I had a director come to me one time and said to me, never come to me with a problem, only come to me with a solution.
That's it.
That's what he told me, and because that was very, very early on in my career. I was, was very upset one day about something, and I think it was I wasn't getting something wasn't going right. That's exactly what he told me, and I remember that, and that's my motto now.
Yeah.
You think, you prepare, you're done. That's how it has to be. Absolutely, I think so.
Where are you going? What's the next step?
Well, we're doing skincare. My skincare line, yeah. And I was really, really pleased about this. This has been something that I've been working on for about 2 years now, and in the last year, everything's started to come around, and we've been able to come up with a day hydration, a night cream, an eye rejuvenation, and a lip balm.
Right. I see it right here.
Yeah.
These, by the way, Jeffrey, are I must commend you. The packaging is stunning.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful. It's really beautiful.
We're really proud of this because I was approached about doing a skincare line many times, and I was approached by this gentleman who has a company called Remard. It's everything is pharmaceutical grade in this, and we use the highest content of hyaluronic acid in its purity. It's the same purity as, say, penicillin.
So it's all pharmaceutical.
All pharmaceutical grade. Everything is pharmaceutical grade.
Let's talk about each one of these products.
Okay,
can we?
Okay, great.
Let's explain them to us.
Okay, I'll pick the first one, which is the day hydration. Okay, now my experience with
hydration.
This, day hydration.
Before we go into this, is there a website where our audience can go on? What is that website?
You go to www.skinbyperfection.com.
Okay, www.skinbyperfection.com.
Right.
All right.
Okay, and the day hydration is, I apply this, when I started using this, I thought to myself, I've always wanted to use a moisturizer under foundation on film. I've always felt that there's a lot of moisture in the makeups and in the foundations and so forth. But
May I?
Yeah, sure. But I wanted to put something on there. The hyaluronic acid in there actually goes into the skin with the it penetrates almost immediately into the skin. You want to give it about 5 minutes. It actually goes in there. It actually refines the lines immediately. I mean, you can really see a nice difference on the skin. You have to let it dry for like 5 minutes. You can then apply any foundation, or you can apply any airbrush or whatever over the skin.
This has a beautiful feel.
It is a great feel to it, and I'll tell you, it actually will penetrate right into the skin, and it will plump the skin.
Well, I don't know with all my hand makeup.
Oh, yeah, there you go. No,
you think this hand is real?
Yeah, there you go. Well, no, and it didn't rub it off. Well, that's the great part about this.
It didn't take the makeup off. It went right through the makeup.
That's what it does. Now, that's the most interesting thing. When I started using this, I did it several different ways.
Same tone. It didn't lighten the hand that I applied it to at all. It went right through the makeup.
It goes right through the makeup. That's the thing I like about it. And that's what all the makeup people that I'm trying to get involved in this and have everybody use it on the TV shows and on films and on cameras and so forth. This will actually, it's like a drink of water for the skin.
Yes.
It actually plumps the skin out.
Yes.
Okay. Then you can apply the foundation right over that. Wait 5 minutes. Apply the foundation right over that.
Yes.
Okay. The powdering is minimal on that, and during the day, which you just saw, you just take a little bit of this. In other words, right over the foundation. What I do is, like for a pickup, like during the course of the morning, how it is, you just take it and you can apply dab it right over the foundation.
Exactly.
Okay. It actually plumps the lines up again, and it leaves the skin looking really, really refreshed and tight.
Right.
That's the key to this. This is what everybody's using it. It's just been wonderful for this. It has botanicals, minerals. It has. There's not a lot of smell to it. It's a slight tint.
No fragrance,
Yeah, a lot of slight tint.
It's very clean smelling.
Very, very clean. Next.
I recommend that my students use this product.
Oh, thank you.
Mixing with the foundation.
Absolutely, I've tried that with the foundation.
I don't know that you can use this with any foundation out there, but I know that it works with mine.
Yes.
Because of the high, we've got so much pigment in the Blasco line that by adding this to the foundation, you're able to really alter the amount of pigment slightly to get a real nice thin sheer application, but you still retain the pigment.
Absolutely.
And you see how it actually kind of I don't want to use the word sets,
Right.
but it has a finish.
Right, it gives you a nice finish
It
under
gives
the
you
skin.
a beautiful finish.
Absolutely, I've
and
noticed
and
that.
it gives you that. You see that
Yeah, it
shine?
does.
Look
Yeah.
at that nice. It's a natural sheen. And, so, and like this side is the dry makeup. You see?
Right, yeah,
But
right.
look at this. Now this side has a real nice sheen to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
That I love.
it.
I love that, and everyone's loving that. It's using it. I have that on
This
about
is
11
this
shows.
Is the
day hydration.
The day hydration.
That can be
Firming
used every
day
day.
hydration. How long does a container like this last?
2
usually?
years.
2 years.
2 year shelf life.
Wow. Excellent, excellent. And you use a small amount?
Oh,
just ever so.
the key is a small amount
Yes.
with this. A small amount. Yeah, you want to use the smallest amount on that one.
Fantastic.
The next is the eye rejuvenation. This is also a wonderful, wonderful product. I could actually, if you can take a little bit of this. This is the same, the hydration. You can just take a small amount of this. This is the smallest amount you want to use under the eye. Okay, you just use. Okay,
Just the
that is
tiniest,
enough.
one drop.
Okay, you
Just
can use
one
that.
drop.
Yeah, right there. You can take this. I can do it. You can take this. Look, I can put this right in here. Like this. Put it like that. Okay, that's enough, you see, for both eyes. Okay, it goes right.
Wow.
It goes on before the concealer. It can go on after the concealer. It can go on during the concealer all day long. It's actually really, really refreshing. And it actually takes away the fine lines on the eye area and will actually
Feels
give you
good.
guys. It feels really great. It dries. It takes another
I can feel it like absorbing. It's great.
You apply that right on there.
You saw
Has
it
the
here
same-
first.
That's right. You
On
have the
MUA TV.
has the same has a little higher amount of the hyaluronic acid
Right,
in here, which the hyaluronic acid has been around for a while, but the grade that we use is it's a pharmaceutical. So
Hyaluronic acid. What exactly is that?
it actually is. It was originally. I tell you how hyaluronic acid I was introduced to it was I have show horses. I have American saddlebred show horses.
This is what I was looking for.
And I had a couple horses that through age they get arthritis and things like this, and I was approached by a company that's Remard that makes a product called Total Joint Care, and the guy that for the horses, and the person that is the president of CEO of Remard and of the Perfection line used hyaluronic acid in powder form in the Total Joint Care.
Now, wait, how is this applied to the horse?
Powder form.
It's a powder.
It's a powder form.
And you powder it on the skin?
No. It's put into their feet.
Really?
And it goes through their body.
Wow.
It's so because it's so pure
That's
that it
interesting.
is absorbed into the body.
Right.
And what it does is it goes into the joints where they're arthritic.
Yes.
And it actually, within probably about a month's time, you're going to start to see a really nice difference in the horse. And I did. I had a show horse that was very arthritic in his left knee, and he was, I'd done quite well with this horse. I had won the world championships with him, and I noticed that he was dropping his knee, which is a term for horses. And we started putting this horse on it for about a month, and this horse came right back around.
That's amazing.
And it's the hyaluronic acid. It's in there. So he wanted to develop this into a skincare. So he had been working on it, and then he came to me about 2 years ago and said, I'm really getting close on this, and I'd really like to involve you in this whole process and so forth, and have you start using it, and tell me what you think, and maybe you can do this and that with it and so forth. So I said, okay, fine. So he gave it to me, and I said, let's put a little, it was in a very rough stage, but it was still pretty much there.
Yes.
And I started using it, and I started it on some of my big actresses, and I started putting it on their face. And
But you didn't tell them what it was.
no, I put it on their face first, and then I put the foundation. And then after the foundation, I put on there, I noticed that it would last, that the foundation was lasting like maybe 3 or 4 hours more, and it wasn't getting blotchy or anything. And then during the day, I would even reapply the hydration a little bit over top of that without having to smear everything off.
Right.
And you can powder over it, you can do everything. But the key to this is you have to use small amounts, don't use a lot.
Yes.
So
Whereas we have a tendency to want to put a lot more.
too much.
Yeah. We think that more is better.
Right, and it's not. Not in this case,
No,
especially with
no.
the eye.
This is
underneath
very
the eye.
concentrated.
Right, very
I can
concentrated.
feel this, folks.
Yeah.
I can actually feel this. It feels
Yeah.
tight and smooth.
Yeah, it will, and then you can apply it. You can put concealer right over that during the day or whatever. But I can see, it'll tighten that eye area, the eye area.
Do you see a difference?
Yeah. I do. Yeah, you look what, 24 now. You look 26 before, but now you look 24.
We make up people. Are we too much or what?
Exactly. And then we had the night cream. This is for like when. As I say, it's sort of the quiet time. Now, some of the actresses on the sets have very, very dry skin.
Can I keep these?
Yeah, they're yours. Some of the actresses on the sets have very, very dry skin. And when you can, no problem. You apply that on no smell.
Ooh, that smells very good.
Well, it doesn't have like a, it's not like a.
No, it's not overly powerful.
Yeah, there's not a. Yeah, it's not like a real.
Very nice.
Yeah, and you just apply that right on. Same thing. You can apply that. Like I could apply this right over what you have. Like if I do this, I know.
It's so concentrated.
You have stuff on, but look, if I can put this right on here.
Right.
And not even move the makeup. I'm using my hands, but my hands are.
That's all right. No, that's good.
Okay, and I'm not even moving the makeup. And what that does, that'll go in there. That'll hydrate that area.
Great touch.
Thanks. That'll hydrate that area, and it's like a drink of water for the skin. It hydrates, it plumps the skin, and at nighttime
you have to do the other side.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do it. Okay. And well, you look 24 on that side. And
this is my on-camera side.
Yeah, I knew that. That's how professional I am. And but then you do that, and then the lips. This is the one that everybody is grabbing.
This is for the lips.
It's grips and it's not open.
Can I? Let me.
Yeah.
I'll open it.
Okay. That is wonderful. Put that right on there now, Joe. You will just be. It's called Kiss Me.
Well, at this rate, I'm going to just be younger and younger.
Yes.
Every
You're going to
show
come out of here.
do.
They're going to card you when we leave here. Actually, when you get into the thing in there.
Actually, I was carded at this place called Shits and Giggles downtown. Oh, did I say that?
There you go.
Did I actually say that?
Yeah,
they carded me, and I wondered why they were carding me. This goes
right
on. They said, well, just in case you have a heart attack, we have to know who you are. I said, honey, let me tell you something. There's nothing in this club that I haven't seen before.
There you go. They just put that right on. So you just put that right on, and that goes right over the lips, right on lipstick. You can put, then you put the actress's lipstick. The guys love it because there's no gloss. Has a great little taste to it. Nothing really,
And this is called, hang on
Kiss Me, Perfection's Kiss Me.
All this stuff is making me look so terrific.
Yeah.
The only thing is that I need to have my eyes worked on.
There you go.
There we go. Kiss Me Lip Therapy. I love it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the guys are putting it in their pockets on the sets. They're just carrying it on the sets. They're just putting it on. It doesn't have it doesn't have any offensive.
Good.
Yeah, it's all natural, and it's like it's great for dry, cracked lips. It's also good for feathering. Women's lipstick whose feathers. You can put that on first. It's great.
This is terrific.
Yeah.
Maybe you can make something you put under the eyes.
Yeah. Well, what's really funny about that? You said that an actress that I have that's in New York said to me, I didn't have the eye cream with me, and I thought to myself, I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of this lip therapy underneath my eyes.
Right.
And I said to her, well, how did it work? And she said, man, I loved it. She said it absorbed immediately, she said, and I could just, put my stuff right on over that. So it's really been a good, the line itself is just really a handy line. I didn't want to get into color.
No, this is terrific. This is the line, correct?
Well, yes, and I have a cleanser coming out too, but that's it.
Well, this is all you need, really.
Yeah, that's it. I don't want to be color is very tricky. You have a huge color line, and you know how extensive that gets and how hard it is.
I would never do it again.
Yeah, I mean, and you were the leader in the olive tones.
In the olive tones, yes.
Well, it needed it.
Yes. All these other companies that they called their olive, medium olive, deep olive.
Yeah, pink.
They were pink.
Pink. And yours was truly olive.
I said I'm going to make mine says olive. It's olive.
I have a whole Joe Blasco. It just because when I came to, I remember coming here and seeking out. Not that because I'm here with you and it's your thing and so forth and so on. I told you in the makeup room. I said I've just been a junkie, a Blasco junkie because I knew Kelsey and she was with you and
Kelsey Fry.
Yeah, and she had always, she had done the school. She was the teacher.
Yes.
Matthew, of course. Everybody, everybody was Blasco. So I remember when it came, I was like a wild man. I have every color. I have everything, just because I could get the colors that I needed. It made me look good.
Well, it's
Everybody
still,
else looks pink.
It's still a huge line.
Oh, it's a great line.
It's a tremendous upkeep, because I'm still running the cosmetics company. I'm running the 2 schools, about to open another school in New York, and now I have the publishing company for the books, and we have 2 new books coming out at the end of the year. Character makeup and laboratory procedures, and now this MUA-TV, makeup artist television.
Well, you know, another thing too is I'm having a lot of the prosthetic makeup artists telling me that they're using this under the skin first.
On the skin first. To protect the skin.
To protect the skin, and then they're applying the appliances, and they're not having any trouble with the appliances coming off, and everything is nice and smooth. There's been some really big, I have this with some really big people.
I would use this also after removing the appliance.
Yeah, they use it afterwards, and that's why I'm doing the cleanser. Now, the cleanser we're coming out with just has to be perfect. It's done. It's ready to go. It's just how it's coming to me next week.
Now, is there something special that's in the cleanser?
Yeah, I wanted to. Well, the cleanser itself it's purifying. It's all natural. There's not a lot of suds. And it has a tea tree oil, which was very hard to combine with the sudsing action to get so that when you dry the skin, cleanse the skin.
Do you use it with water?
Well, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to have, this is what the whole thing, everything is done except for the dispenser.
Yes.
And we're looking at a dispenser. I wanted the kind of dispensers that you can, they're called foam dispensers, but they're not, it's not like shaving cream. It's you pump it out and the air in there.
Yeah, it combines with it and it comes out as a foam.
And you can use it wet or dry. Or with or without water. And that's what I wanted, because say you're out in the middle of the desert, okay, and your actor or actress has something you want to take off. But you don't have any water with you or something, you know, it's rare.
And it's not going to drip.
It's not going to drip.
Also.
You just apply this on your hands, put it on a sponge, just take it right off. That's kind of what I wanted to do. So unless we can get, that's the thing about perfection, is that the company itself, it has to be absolutely perfect, or we're not going to put our name behind it. We're not going to stand it.
Well, with the word name perfection, it's got to be perfect. It's got
to be perfect, I hope. Yeah, I hope so.
Your partner in the company is, I believe,
Jeff Ramey.
Jeff Ramey, and he's based in Miami.
He's in Miami.
Well, we have to have Jeff come up to the Orlando studios.
He absolutely will. He's a big ham.
That would be great.
No, okay. He's a great guy, and he's really, really innovative and a very, very, very smart person, and a good worker. And really, the thing that he's really taught me, which I think is really a good thing, is to listen.
Yes.
To people when I go in, like when I go into my other makeup people, and I call on a lot of sets, and I bring a lot of the products around it, because I want a lot of people to use them, and so forth and so on. I'm listening to what the artists are telling me and what they really need, and that was the main thing. That was how I came up with everything, and how everything is developed, is what they really need. You know, and the more they tell me, and the more things they say they need, the more I'll keep working.
Yeah, excellent. Is he a chemist?
He's he has chemists. The company Remart has chemists. He himself is not a chemist. He is a developer and has the everything we have is pharmaceutical.
This is manufactured in Miami?
In Miami.
Excellent.
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So I don't have very far to go to keep the supply.
No. We'll keep you supplied. We'll keep you supplied. Absolutely. And you know, it's an interesting venue for me at this point in my career. You know, it's something that I really wanted to do, because I mean, basically, I didn't want to be 64 years old, and you know, I wanted to do something for myself. You know,
well, this is great. What you're doing is fantastic.
Well, thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks. It's great. Thanks.
You know, it's a pleasure to finally meet you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Thank you. But we met before with Jeff Angel.
Jeff Angel.
Yeah, we met.
Jeff and I go way back.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I want to do is that we have to stop just for 1 second.
Okay.
And we have a tape change, and we're going to be right back. So don't go away.
Do you have the passion of an artist? Does the idea of working on a living canvas thrill you? For over 30 years, Joe Blasco has pioneered the ultimate training for film and television makeup artistry. Students are taught to become professional makeup artists by industry professionals at our state-of-the-art facilities in Hollywood and Orlando. Join our award-winning graduates and realize your dream of becoming a professional makeup artist today. Visit us at joeblasco.com or call 323-467-4949 to schedule a tour of our campus.
All right, welcome back. Joe Blasco here with Mr. Jeffrey Fitzer. And Jeffrey,
Yes.
You use the product too, right?
Absolutely.
Your skincare.
Absolutely.
Tell us about it. How long have you been using it?
Almost.
Because you
about
look
a year
like you're
and a half.
about 24.
Oh wow! I thought.
And
I
I'm
was
wondering, how did you get
23.
all this experience?
Yeah, exactly. I've been using it for probably about. I feel like we're on one of those info commercials. I've been using it for about a year and a half, and I was given the product, and probably into about the third month. People started saying to me, "Well, your skin looks really great." Like people that wouldn't say that to me. You know what I mean? Like somebody that I'm riding the horse, or somebody where I'm at, somewhere they say, "Oh, your skin looks really good. Are you taking care of it?" Or whatever. And of course, my natural response to that was, "Why? I didn't look good before?" And yeah, exactly. You see, I was like paranoid.
Well, I haven't seen you for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
You look terrific.
Exactly.
Tell me about the horses.
How
many horses do you have?
I have 4 horses right now. I have 2 horses in Kentucky that are in training there, and then I train my 1 horse that's home here. In between all my schedule and everything else, I still get out and I get a chance to ride him.
Yeah.
And then I have what's called a brood mare, which is a mare that we keep in foal each year, and she has the baby for us, and for me.
Wonderful.
I don't know who's saying us, for me. And then we, train the baby and show it and so forth. It's great fun. I was raised on a horse farm and trained show horses. My uncle trained horses. My father trained horses. My other uncle trained horses. So I kind of had that natural.
Do you have horses here in California?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can we visit sometime?
Yes, absolutely.
And see
I would
your
love
horses?
You. Oh,
Wouldn't that be great fun?
Yeah, I would love you. I'm like crazy about my horses and my dogs. Huh?
We have a show. Oh, you have dogs?
Yeah.
We have a show where we visit with makeup artists.
Okay.
And we see their pets and if they whatever their hobbies may be.
Mine is horses.
If they're a pilot, we fly in their airplane. If they love boating, we go on the boat.
Come
maybe
see the
we'll go
horses.
riding on one of your horses.
Oh, absolutely. And the horses are great. I have my big show horse here, and also too is if did you ever get down to Kentucky? My trainers down there have 2 horses down there. Go up to Kentucky
from Orlando.
Yes. Oh, okay. You can actually.
But see, I live in Orlando.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
I have a place here as well.
Okay.
But my big house is in Orlando.
Okay, and then we're in Miami too. So
Terrific.
we're right there.
We're very close.
We're very close.
I used to live at the Floridian. I had the pet house.
Oh my God!
You know the
there you
Floridian
go.
down,
Absolutely.
down at West.
I stay at the Tides.
Oh yeah, I
When
love
I'm there. The Tides is great. Right next to Versace's place.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's how I end up working.
Somebody ran into me one time, and I was in Miami. This was about 6 months after Versace passed away.
Yeah.
And I came around the corner, and a lady came up to me and went,
Oh
and
my
she went, like this. And I said, "Excuse me, I'm sorry. What did I do?"
Yeah.
She says, "You look like Giovanni.
Oh my God.
Versace." She
God.
says, "I thought you were Versace. I thought you were his ghost."
Oh my
And
God.
so I'm looking at myself. Do I actually look like Giovanni Versace?
A little bit.
I should be so lucky,
You
right?
kind of look a
I
little
should be
bit
so
like,
lucky, right?
like, like
Maybe if
that
I use
whole-
more of your skincare, I'll look more like him.
You just you don't want to get too good then you won't have any time to work, and you'll be playing the whole
You're
time.
terrific.
And,
You're
all
terrific.
that, so.
Hey, I just want to thank you so much
thank
for
you.
coming in here today.
Yeah, thanks.
And
it's been great.
it's been just too long,
Absolutely.
So we have to get together. Will you come in? Will you come in and do a makeup for us?
That'd be great.
Would that be wonderful?
Yeah, I can show
Would
you
like
about
that?
putting this in.
Absolutely.
That would be great. I can put this the product on first. I can show you exactly how to put it on and use it and so forth. And,
Okay.
And I think you're really going to see a huge difference in once this product is out on and everyone using it that I have on the sets and so forth. You're going to start seeing a really nice difference.
Terrific.
With the skin tones and everything.
Jeffrey.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
You're so sweet.
It's my
Thanks so much.
pleasure.
It was a pleasure too.
My pleasure.
Thanks.
And don't you go away, because we'll be right back. There's a lot more makeup artist programming right here on MUA TV.